Most guys are arrogant and think they know everything, so they don't try to learn anything new. Idiots. The world is full of old knowledge that can change your life. It can help you reach your most important goals, but only if you put aside your ego and think like a student. We'll talk about 9 rules for success that Stoics follow. These rules were made more than 2,000 years ago, and many people have found them useful over the years. I want you to stay until the end so you can learn all the rules and put them into practice in your life. Rule 1. Be a student all the time. Most guys online have a big ego for some reason. All of them say things like, be a leader, never a follower. People who say this don't have the mind of a student, because a student is basically someone who follows. He does what his teacher tells him. Listen. If you want to be a good boss, you need to know how to be a good listener too. We all need to know when to shut up and let someone with more experience take the lead. Epictetus thought that we are all both teachers and students. We're all on a path to bettering ourselves, but it's not a straight line. Instead, it's a circle. Follow the person in front of you, and someone else will follow you. This idea that you can only lead and never follow is egotistical and keeps you from being a good student. Put yourself down and think like a student. Rule 2. Talk to people who have dared. Zeno, who came up with the idea of Stoicism, came to see our wise man after he had lost all of his money. He wanted to know how to live the best life possible. The smart person told Zeno to talk to the dead. What's the meaning of that? How about ghosts? Go talk with people in a cemetery. No, that's obvious. The wise man was talking about reading because books are the best way to talk to people who have died. Their bodies may be in the ground or have been dust for a long time, but in a book, they are still alive and well. Listen, by reading, we can learn from both the living and the dead. You can learn quickly from both old and new knowledge, and you'd be a fool not to use it. I've put a link to my list of the top 25 books below. Here are the best books that every man should read. To get it, go to the link in the text below. Remember that not everyone who reads is a leader, but everyone who leads is a reader. Then read. Rule 3. Take charge of the mornings. Marcus Aurelius was the ruler of Rome at the time. Many people looked up to him as a great man, but in truth, he was just a man made of flesh and blood, like you and me. You see, Marcus Aurelius sometimes felt like he had nothing to do. He knew he had to get up, but he wanted to stay in bed where it was warm. But what made him great was that he didn't give in to these temptations and fail to do his daily chores. He knew that if he could win the morning, he could win the day and do well in life. I do 2 things every morning that help me get things done. First, I write down the most important things I need to do the night before, so I don't have to think about what to do when I wake up. Second, I move my body to wake up my head. I don't do hard sports, but I do move my body. Then I get to work and take on the morning. Don't forget to keep things easy. You don't need a complicated and long list of things to do in the morning. Rule 4. Ask yourself if you really need to do it. Most guys do things that don't matter. They spend a lot of time on things that aren't important and put off what they know in their hearts is the most important work. Then they tell themselves they've been busy. Listen, doing a lot of things that don't need to be done is not productive. It's just stupid. It's sabotaging yourself, and you'll never get anything big done this way. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The attention you give to any action should be in proportion to its worth." This means that if the job isn't worth much, you shouldn't pay much attention to it. There are only 24 hours in a day, so don't spend too much time on chores that don't matter. Instead, give them to someone else or just ignore them so you can focus on the important jobs that will really make a difference. I want you to ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now even important the next time you're doing something? Rule 5. Pay attention to what you can control. So many men worry about things they can't change. People, politics, and problems in the modern world drive them crazy. Right on. The Stoics say that we should pay attention to the things we can control and let go of the things we can't. Getting this will make you more realistic and stop you from wasting time thinking about things that don't matter, so you can focus on things that will help you reach your goals. Rule 6. Don't worry about things that don't exist. As guys, it's normal for us to think about problems and risks. Even so, being a man isn't always easy. But if we think about it carefully, most of the bad things we imagine don't come true. Seneca said, "We are more often afraid than hurt, and our imaginations hurt us more than the real world." Try to stay relaxed and keep your mind on the moment. What you're worried about is less likely to happen than you think. Rule 7. Be hard on yourself, but easy on others. It's important to have clear ideas about what's right and wrong, and to stick to them. But at the same time, we should treat others with kindness and forgiveness. This doesn't mean we accept bad or unfair behavior, but it does mean we don't have to judge everyone who doesn't act the way we want them to. Leading by example is a better way to get people to change for the better. Rule 8. Every day, remember that you are going to die. Seneca said that we often make the mistake of thinking that death is a long way off and looking ahead to it. But death is happening right now to us. Every second that goes by brings us closer to death, and the time that's already gone will never come back. Death is not far away. It is here and now. So, we should live while we can by not putting things off, finishing what we start, and making the most of our time while we still have it. Rule 9. Take the storm in stride. Not everything goes the way we want it to. Life is always changing, and even the great Marcus Aurelius had to deal with things he couldn't stop. But he decided to see things in a good light and make the best of them. Both good and bad things will happen in life. There will be sunny days, but there will also be dark, wet days, and sometimes even a fierce storm. You have to choose how to deal with them. Find the good in what happens and figure out how to use it to your advantage, or you'll be stuck with anger and sorrow all the time. Thank you for watching. If you're ready to dive deeper into Stoicism and unlock its timeless wisdom, grab your copy of our comprehensive Stoicism ebook. Start your journey towards a more resilient and fulfilled life today. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button below to stay updated with our latest Stoicism insights and more.